Hey guys, Anthony Michael here with Texas Chainsaw Restorations. Today I'd like to show y'all the 222, Poland 222. This is basically, I call it the granddaddy to the 245A and the 245SA. You guys, some of y'all may know that the 245A that was used in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974, that saw was manufactured in 1970, from 1970 to 1980, so about 10 years, 9 or 10 years they were in production. But this, so they had a 221, the 222, and a 223. All of those were the first design of the 245A. These are the same thing, you know, they're the prototype basically. 1968 this saw was made, it's very old. It is a 74cc saw, just like the one in the film. There's very little difference other than, I'm going to go over it and show you some of the stuff that makes it different. So right off the bat, you may notice that the clutch cover is different. They actually had the Poulan logo casted on the clutch cover rather than a decal. And you'll notice that the foot is smaller. They eventually redesigned the clutch cover to have a bigger foot, so the saw kind of sat more upright. And also you'll notice it's got a decompression system, just like a 245 SA. The choke knob is metal, just like the early models. And it does still have the dipped handlebar. The gas cap, it's got an early gas cap, and it's also, if you notice, it sits under the handlebar rather than it being up here. They redesigned that, and I think that was a good idea, because this is kind of a pain in the ass to try to get under here and pour gas and stuff. It just seemed it's a lot better to have it here, which they eventually did. It's got an original Poulan bar. The stenciling is like gone, but you can still see it there. And it's got the 2-bolt muffler on it. You know, this is cool. I like this little detail. So all of the Poulan 245As, before the last models they made, they were actually like a hard plastic. They all have the emblem like this on the pull rope, but these super early models, rather than just having the Christmas tree, as they call it, it actually still says Poulan in it like that. That's really cool. You don't see that. So, and the ID tag is different as well. The ID tag is farm yellow, just like the rest of the saw. And instead of having the model number and the serial number, it only has the serial number. This is pretty cool. And you'll notice, if you look back here, there's no toggle switch where you would normally see one. That's because these super early models, the throttle lock functioned as a throttle lock, toggle switch, and decompression. So it's got a tiny bit of gas in it. I have no idea if it's going to run. I did get it to pop over, but I mean, we'll see. It needs a carburetor rebuild, 100%. I'll get around to doing some work to it. But yes, I know that this technically is not, you know, the saw used in the film. It's not the same model, but I have grown to appreciate some of the Poulan stuff. You know, I'm not really a Poulan guy per se, as I am a TCM guy, but this is for my personal collection, and I drove all the way to Kentucky to buy this thing, and it's a little sentimental to me, I guess. So I'm gonna keep it in the collection, and I think it's cool to have, especially for stuff like this, for videos, you know. So the upper decal, I know it's kind of worn away and it's like a silverish color, but at one time this was farm yellow. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this original, and I'm gonna put a different one on there with a reproduction decal, just to make it look good. So that way I can swap them back and forth if I want to. Well, here we go. Let's see if it'll fire up. I don't know what it will, but we'll see. And I'll kind of show you how it functions too. So when you start it, like I said, you can actually, maybe you can see it, I don't know, but start and stop is on here. This functions as all of that. Let's see what happens. How cool is that? There you have it, man. Poulan 222, the granddaddy of the 245A. And yeah, it's farm yellow, early model farm yellow, just like the 245s and 306As. They're pretty rare, you know. I have seen a few out there. They're obviously not as collectible as the 245 and 306, and you know, it's because it's not the same model as the film, but I know some people like to get their hands on these and use them for a Leatherface replica, because it basically is a 245A. It's just an early run. So, and it's got a different coil too. You notice that the coil is got a thinner wire and it's rigged up differently. It is points and condenser, but the way that it hooks up to the toggle switch is different. And yeah, it's pretty cool. The clutch covers, these were kind of universal, you know. And what I mean by that is this same clutch cover would be appropriate on a 201, for instance, or any of those early 200 series saws that didn't have the power sharp in them. So yeah, and then they swapped it out. I guess, I don't know why, but I imagine that it was probably better for them to put a decal on here so they can put the model also on here along with the top. So really cool. Thanks for watching, guys.